Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Estamos aquí en el Festival de Morelia, estamos Sergio Raúl López de CineToma, Say Hurtado de Revista Godard, Verónica Sánchez de Tomatazos, Paco Torres de CinemaSpot y yo, Irving Torres Sillán de CineNT. Michel, bienvenido.
Gracias.
Michel, ¿cómo es que tomas las reglas de la Nouvelle Vague para deconstruir y destruirla y a la vez rendir un homenaje tan grande a la historia del cine francés?
Well, the goal was not to, especially to talk about the French New Wave or to pay homage. I read the book written by Jean-Luc Godard's ex-wife, Anne Jasemski, and I felt in love with the love story. And I thought there was a fun way to tell that love story, a little bit like the Italian comedies of the 60s, like with some, you laugh, but behind the love there's something tragic. I really love that kind of balance. And because it's Jean-Luc Godard, I could pay homage to his cinema using a little bit his motifs or his way to tell stories. But the movie is not about Jean-Luc Godard. Jean-Luc Godard is the main character, and through this character it's a movie about love, it's a movie about commitments, politics, friendships, revolution, art, cinema, a lot of topics through this character.
You have done explorations, historical explorations about what black and white cinema or good cinema, silent movies. You have done about the war, about spies. But now I think that you are going back to the time you were born,
Yeah.
67. So months later, there were the spring
Yeah.
of
May 68, yeah.
68. So is this also exploration of the time you were born, that historical situation?
Well, maybe. I'm not sure it's that egocentric, but maybe you're right. No, yeah. No, I think...
that you were there, but you were not conscious about it.
Yes, of course, but it's funny because the name of the movie is Rodoutable, and Rodoutable is also a submarine that has been inaugurated March 29th of 1967, which is my birthday. But maybe just anecdotic, I don't know. But May 68 is very important, and I think there's an echo with today, at least in France, because people were fed up with that society that we had before May 68. The France of the General de Gaulle was a very static, and the young people felt not in prison, but they wouldn't recognize themselves in their society, so they said it in a violent way, not that violent, but I mean they went into the street and they took the politics and they took the street, and so now a lot of people feel a little bit like this, and but the alternative, what to do, is very difficult, because in 68 the right wing was, I mean, kept the power. So you could be a revolutionary but being just left wing and still in the Republican field.
Accepted.
Exactly. Now, because there was alternance between right and left, old people, young people, we tried a lot of things. So the people who want to make the revolution, they put themselves out of the Republican field. So there's the two. It's interesting, I think, to look at what happened in the past to understand where we are now. So that's it.
Okay. There are many film students who's watching us. Which could be your 5 tips to become a film director?
Well, first you have to be lucky. I'm sorry to say it, because we not always control luck, but you can attract luck, but you have to be lucky. That makes one. 2, you have to study movies, of course, and to understand how it works, and I would say the classical language, to be able to do things in a classical way if you want to go further. Third, but I have to say just, I'm not a professor. So I say that because you ask me and I play the game and I accept to play the game. But actually I would never dare to give advice to people. And so the third one would be maybe try to find yourself. I see a lot of movies and I think the directors want to prove that they can make movies like other directors. And I think we should reconsider the question, and directors should prove that they're only one able to tell a story the way they did. That makes 3. The fourth would be to let the door open. And what I mean is to don't think just only in terms of cinema. I mean, you have to experiment life to be able to let the life enter into your creation, but also maybe you should study painting and music and photography and a lot of things to feed your creation. And so that makes 4. And the 5th one would be learn to draw. Yeah, I think it can be very helpful. When you draw, it's very helpful, and it's not that difficult. It's not, you can learn it. It's not you can draw or you can't draw. You can learn to draw, and it's very useful. That makes fit. I'm sure there's better advices than this.
Hola. ¿Por qué decidiste hacer una película en la que desacralizas la imagen de Godard? Y si desde el principio, desde el guión, imaginaste o ya sabías que ibas a incomodar a esta gente que ama, o a los cinéfilos que aman la nueva ola y la figura de Godard.
Did I?
The question is like the approach that you have towards the film that could have some create some problem in the people who are like those who don't believe.
No, I don't. I mean, no. I think the only one who could have problems with a movie like this are people who consider that Godard is untouchable, and someone like me don't have the right to talk about someone like him. I think it's bullshit. I don't really pay attention to this because I don't attack him. I think I pay homage to his cinema. It's also a tribute to his cinema, and I think I really respect him in terms of he's not a sympathetic character, but the real Godard never tried to be sympathetic. It has never been his priority. His priority was to be honest with his. He's sick for truth and or for art, and being sympathetic or being a nice person was not his topic. So I really think I respect this. The other thing is it's an adaptation of a book written by someone who knew him very, very much because she was his wife at this moment. So I consider that she has the right to tell her own story, and if she decided to allow me to make a movie about it, I think it's doable. And also the last thing I would say is, first, as I said, the movie is not about Jean-Luc Godard. It's about a lot of other things. But some people stop it to Jean-Luc Godard and put the movie in a small box. And but a lot of people consider the movie humanizes Jean-Luc Godard and change the way they look at him and change the way they understand him and made him more understandable. So when you over-respect him and when you consider Godard as a god of a religion, of course, he's a totem and he's untouchable, but I don't think these people really, I didn't make the movie for these people. So.
Hey,
I want to know about the first time you see the movies of Jean-Luc Godard. What was the first impact in you with these movies?
Well, I remember I saw Breathless. I think it was the first one when I was a teenager, and I was very impressed. I didn't put everything on Godard, I have to say. I put everything on Jean-Paul Belmondo, because I think one of the things he invented was to skip the characters in a way. And I don't think Breathless is a movie about the character of Michel Poicard, which is the name of the character, but it's much more a movie about Jean-Paul Belmondo, who was a new actor, and he suddenly arrived. It was like Marlon Brando for us, like a new way to be a man, something really new. Of course, I've seen the movie years after its first release, but I was really impressed by Jean-Paul Belmondo in this movie. And but the first time I really watched the movies, his early works, was I never went to a cinema school, but I went to an art school, and in an art school we would study a little bit of cinema, and Godard was one of the few directors who would study, and it was very interesting because suddenly it was another approach. It was an approach about the language of cinema, not the charm of the actor or the story. It was really about the understanding how to play with the images. What does that mean to create images and to put a shot with another shot, with another, and try to understand the strength of this, the dynamic of editing and composition and light and everything. And he was very interesting for that, of course.
Can you tell us how do you feel? What do you think when you made Mel Brooks?
Oh, of course. Oh, Mel Brooks is my chouchou. I can't say that. It's a great honor for me to. I don't know if. Yeah, we're friends, and when I go to Los Angeles, I have lunch with not only Mel Brooks but a bunch of guys who they are from the great Hollywood, and so there's Michael Gruskoff, who was the producer of Young Frankenstein. Jay Cantor was a huge agent. Alan Jr. was the head of a big studio. Richard Donner, Mel Brooks, of course, and it's great. I mean, you really can touch the greatness of Hollywood, and these guys are so funny and so kind, so nice people. It's a great chance I have. I'm very grateful for knowing these people.
Thank you.
About this atomic figure of Godard, your own actor in the documentary tells you so, no? It's like asking a Christian to play Jesus,
God, yeah,
right?
Jesus, yeah.
So for me, it's less question. Which is the kind of melancholic feeling that you have for this past cinema that you bring homage with very contemporary movies?
Well, I don't think I'm nostalgic. I think that I like to explore some new fields of the language of cinema, and of course Godard is one of them, and of course silent movies is one of them. I won't make an encyclopedia. I mean, I won't do all the movies like this, but I wanted to do this one, and I made this one. I don't have this veneration that Garel has for Jean-Luc Godard, and I always try to be to put some distance with the period. I mean, the Oasis 117 about the spy movies were very ironic with the period and with the France of that period. And the artist is a little bit different because I wanted it to be more like a candy, like a very sweet little thing. But this one, there's some distance, of course, with the character himself. And so it's not nostalgia. The movie is not an apology to Jean-Luc Godard and that period. I think there's some distance. But the language of cinema, of course, I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.